In this video, I will talk about what kinds of argumentation, what factors make up a good argument. Now, in my previous video, I told you that bias and fallacies are not good things to have in an argument. And so I said in my previous video that bias means holding opinions about a person or group that are stereotypical, prejudiced, or judgmental. And so here I have the breakdown of the different biases that I want you to avoid. You also need to avoid using fallacies in your argumentation. Avoid using scapegoating, scare tactics, apple polishing, ad hominem, false dilemma, slippery slope, or begging the question. In this video, I want to focus on what constitutes a good argument. So when you have a good argument, you want to use rhetorical devices. Rhetorical devices are writing techniques designed to draw an emotional response from a reader. Using rhetorical devices in research writing can be highly effective. And so I went over that in my last video, in my bias and fallacy video. And so in this video is a follow-up to the bias and fallacy video. And so you want to use these rhetorical devices to improve your argumentation. Alliteration, the same consonant sound repeated in a number of words in a sentence. Somewhere at this very moment, a child is being born in America. Let it be our cause to give that child a happy home, a healthy family, and a hopeful future. H, happy, healthy, hopeful. H, H, H. So when you use alliteration, it sounds poetic. Hyperbole, an exaggeration. The only place where democracy comes before work is in the dictionary. Euphemism, replacing one expression with another that is more positive and agreeable in nature. Use restroom instead of toilet, correctional facility instead of prison. Metaphor, comparing two different things in the same sentence without using the word like or as. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. Martin Luther King. Parallelism, sentences structured in a similar way to make it easier for the reader to understand. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I will learn. Benjamin Franklin. Asking a rhetorical question. Asking a question without expecting a response because the answer is obvious or implied. Are we having fun yet? Paradox, a figure of speech that is apparently contradictory but at the same time evokes some higher meaning. I can resist everything except temptation. Rhetorical devices are considered non-argumentative forms of persuasion. Although useful, they should not be used to excess. The overuse of rhetorical devices leads to research writing that is diluted and distracting. In my opinion, the major component in making your argumentation balanced and fair is knowing how to write a counter-argument. An argument in research writing is a case you make, along with support or reasons for the reader to believe your claim. When making an argument in research writing, your main objective is to assert something so strongly you are changing the way your reader feels about this topic. Keep in mind that an argument is not just an opinion or feeling. An argument is an opinion with reasons to support it and the aim to make others feel this way. So when you have an argument, you have to have a premise. The premise is your thesis statement or your main claim. You must not only make a strong argument in writing, but you must also have counter-arguments. A counter-argument is an argument against another argument. When you write an argumentative essay, you must prepare for and address any potential counter-arguments on your topic by shaping your essay to combat what the opposition might say. If you are arguing against capital punishment, for example, it is important to address research that illustrates societal benefits of capital punishment. As you research, look for opposing viewpoints. Note those in your paper and then find evidence to refute them. If the counter-arguments contain biases or fallacies, for example, be sure to address them. Now, a good place to find topics with counter-arguments is to go to a debate website. So all you have to do is just Google debate websites, and most debate websites will have a listing of many different topics. You click on the topic, and the topic will open up, and you will have the for and the against column. Now this is the topic of another video in which I teach you how to find a topic, how to find an argumentative topic on a debate website. So this is a different video. But getting back to this video, so in order to make a fair and balanced argument, you need to be able to write an effective counter-argument in which you argue the other side and you're able to refute it. In the class that we are teaching, I will be teaching you 3 different ways in which you can write a counter-argument. You are going to learn how to write a counter-argument using the Toulmin method, using the Rogerian method, and using middle ground method. All of these 3, which are other videos of course, methods of counter-arguments are ways in which you can counter-argue someone else's, bring in the opposition's argument, and then balance out your argument. Because if you can out-argue the other person, it actually strengthens your argument. And if the counter-argument has fallacies, then you can address those fallacies and make the other side look weaker. So, in conclusion, in order to have a good argument, you need to use rhetorical devices such as alliteration, not too much, here and there, hyperbole, euphemism, metaphor, parallelism, rhetorical question, paradox. And you can find different ways to incorporate a counter-argument in your argument. If you follow these steps and avoid fallacies and bias, you can create a sound, balanced, and objective argument. This ends my video on how to write a good argument.